The Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
We are back on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Sir Pizza, whose 3 Murfreesboro locations offer a huge selection of mouthwatering pizzas, sandwiches, pastas, and wings. Order your favorite online at sirpizzatn.com. Little football conversation here now. We've been all over the place this morning with girls basketball and football, but time to talk Stewarts Creek football this morning. Ben Caudill joins us here in the studio and made that trek to Ravenwood, and gosh, kind of a tough start for you guys last night.
Yeah, it definitely was. Played a really good Ravenwood football team last night, and going on the road, we knew we'd have to play really well, and certainly played really well at times, but a few moments kind of got away from us, and you can't do that against really good football teams, especially against an undefeated Ravenwood squad.
The start of the game, you were kind of talking a little bit about that. It wasn't a strong start, and sometimes, especially if you're on the road playing a good team, you can't really afford for that to happen because it takes so long to climb back in a game. Yeah.
We had them, I think it was 3rd and 12 on their own, about 30-yard line, their first offensive possession, and, they called a screen just kind of trying to set up a punt, and we don't make the play, and they go for about 70 yards, and then we get the ball and call a big reverse, started creating a little bit of momentum, and really for the first time this year we start trying to win after the snap, and start talking and jawing a little bit, and then next play, 1st and 10, we turn the wrong way and get sacked on 2nd down, and just felt like we played a little bit too emotional at times, I thought we really had some chances to get back in it. We didn't field 2 kickoffs, and gave them the ball on about the 30-yard line, which was crippling. And, just against any team, much less against a quarterfinal opponent in Ravenwood on the road, you just can't make those mistakes. Certainly, want to tip my hat to Ravenwood, though. They're a phenomenal team, very talented. Bring back pretty much everybody from last year's team, very well coached. Defensively alone, they got a defensive lineman going to Cornell, Mike linebacker that can fly, 2 Division I defensive backs. MTSU's got 2 commits on their offense, offered another player on their offense, think we played, certainly one of the best that not just 6A has to offer, but the entire state. And, I'm proud of the way that our kids fought. They kept their big offensive tackle in the entire game. We were able to, get some stops in the second half, just certainly a lot to take in, not just, the result of last night, but, just trying to process all the players' emotions, all the parents' emotions, I really feel like, Brian, Thanksgiving's coming a little bit early for me. As we enter into this next week, I can't say enough about, these kids, these seniors, these coaches, our community, their support, every step of the way. It's I'm going to spend a lot of time, in reflection this next week and being thankful for everything that we got to experience this season.
A lot of first this season. Want to talk about that here this morning as well for the Stewarts Creek program. In last night's game, it was like Ravenwood had to kind of pick their poison with your backfield, and made it a little tougher on Caleb last night, although he did score a couple of times. But Jeremy picking up almost 140 yards or so, he tried to pick up the slack there.
Yeah, man, I tell you, a lot of, Brian, a lot of programs would feel blessed to have one 1,000-yard rusher for the season. Well, we not only had one, we had 2 players that rushed for over 1,000 yards. And, last night we were playing with only 1 senior offensive lineman. We've really been playing with only 1 senior offensive lineman since the Smyrna game. The 2-headed monster of Jeremy Smith and Caleb Floyd, compiled with, Jerry Jerry Taylor, our quarterback, finally being healthy. You know, he spent more than half the season really, honestly, Brian, on one leg. And, you know, I'm so proud of our offensive line and our tight end, Grady Harvey, and, you know, all the guys that have contributed to, you know, the success that Jeremy and Caleb have had this season. I think it's been a truly historic season, you know, on that side of the ball, and I'm so proud of them, and also very proud of, you know, our defense as well. I really feel like there were certain games where, you know, they had to really keep us in the game, and they had to, you know, I always feel like our job on defense is, you know, when I've coached on that side of the ball, is you've got to give your offense a chance to win the game, you know, and they did that several times for us this season. Keelan Harris, Marcel Gordon, you know, we've played the last 2 weeks without, you don't ever want to put a superlative on anybody, but Jonathan Waller is one of the best defensive linemen we've had in our school certainly since I've been there. And, you know, he broke his fibula against Independence. We played the last several weeks without Aiden Wise, certainly one of the best O-linemen at Stewarts Creek since I've been there. And, you know, Brian, there's been years in the past where I feel like, you know, an injury like that would have derailed us, you know. But there's a lot of ways to measure growth, you know, and I feel like I'm more qualified than any to speak about that. And I'm fairly certain that going into just finishing my 6th year at Stewarts Creek, going into year 7, that I'm the longest tenured football coach that as an assistant, and last 5 as head coach, that our program's ever had. And I've been able to see the growth and developing depth at this level, you know, and developing what you need to have to be able to advance in the playoffs. And, you know, certainly that's not something that has just popped up this year. And so a lot of different things that I'm just so proud of that have given our team a chance to play longer than any other team that Stewarts Creek's ever had.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, you mentioned this offensive line, very young and that kind of thing, but, you know, you don't have 2,000-yard rushers without, you know, a great up front and, you know, on both sides of the ball, but obviously talking offense this time. So, and you mentioned something that I want to touch on there, and that's about, you know, Stewarts Creek has had injuries to key players in years past and has taken a step back.
Yep.
And it was like more of a next man up kind of thing this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, you know, to advance in the playoffs, you know, you got to have a stroke of luck and stay healthy.
Yeah.
And, you know, we have had that in certain spots and we haven't in others. And, you know, I think it really didn't show up last night, some of our injuries. It really didn't show up until last night, you know, and you play a Ravenwood team that's got great depth, and, you know, at least me looking at their games and depth chart, they really have gone through unscathed, you know, and I certainly think they're going to be a handful, you know, in the semis, and you know, we'll see what happens after that. But, you know, I tell you, I think from where I sit and looking at the last 5 years for me, I think when you're building a program, you don't just look at one game. You can't just, you know, look at one season. You got to see the big picture. And, you know, what this team's able to accomplish, you know, is something that, you know, people in our community are going to be talking about for a long time. And every single bit of praise and accolades that this group of seniors and this team receives is more than well deserved.
Ben Caudill is our guest this morning as we talk Stewarts Creek football. Just the first off the top of my head, first win over Smyrna, region championship over Antioch, not the first, but the playoff win.
Yep.
First one, winning that first one at home. It wasn't easy against Independence,
No doubt.
but got the first one. This year also saw you become the winningest coach, and there have been some pretty good guys that you've worked for and have been at Stewarts Creek. So that's just the few that I can think of off the top of my head. Best record, I guess, overall, and all of those things. You were one of 8 teams, and Rutherford County had 3 of the 8 teams playing in the Elite 8, if you will. So that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, well, there's so many people that deserve so much credit, and you know, I'll say the biggest thing for me is the reason I hurt the most right now is that we don't get to be together in practice on Monday. That our coaches aren't going to be, you know, being with each other tomorrow and eating a meal and just having that camaraderie that has guided our team. I can't say enough about them. That's guided us throughout this season. And you know, I tell you, you know, this team is one that Brian, I truly enjoyed going to practice every day with this group. I loved being around this team. I just stood in the locker room last night and just tried to take it all in. And I mean, there are so many guys on our team that if I started listing them one by one, I mean,
right.
Brian, I have nothing negative to say about them. You know, their parents are so supportive and they've been raised right. And a lot of times I think there's this misnomer of you getting to coach and impact the kids. Well, I'm just telling you, Brian, I mean, these kids have impacted me. And you know, when I just feel like the good Lord put a message on my heart this week to our team. And I just told them, I said, guys, what we've accomplished this year and what we achieve is not near as important as who we become in the process. You know, and when I look at several guys in our program that I wasn't sure if they were even going to be able to stay in our program due to various reasons, and you see how they grow and mature and become leaders as seniors, and you know, formulate a plan for the rest of their life and are able to articulate, you know, what they want to do out of school and how they're just going to go about their business. I mean, that's why we do this.
Yeah, you see that kid 2 years ago and you think, I don't know, how are we going to get through here?
Yeah.
You know, and just see the maturity that comes from it.
Oh, yeah, all the layers of support at our school from the administration, Dr. Clark Harrell, athletically under Todd Harris. I mean, our band, I mean, goodness gracious, Brian. I mean, it's just, I can't say enough about how our band has impacted several games this year. Their leadership with Mr. Chester and Miss Burton. You know, Stewarts Creek is a special place, and the biggest thing for me when I took this job is, you know, I made no guarantees in regards to this is where we need to be in 5 years or whatever. It was, I told Dr. Harrell, I want you to be proud of our football program, and I want our program to represent the best values of our school. And I can confidently say that, you know, this team is one that brought our community together, and it's one that has made me so proud, and I know it's made several others so proud. And what we accomplish moving forward, we're going to stand on this group of seniors. We're going to stand on their shoulders, and we're going to be able to see things that we hadn't been able to see before because of their hard work and their character and all the things they were able to accomplish.
Coach, the season, I mean, it starts, you know, January, February, weight room, and then spring practice. But really, I mean, I don't think a lot of people understand that football is not just mid-August until whenever the season ends. And for all of a sudden, you work and work and work, and once you're in the season, this is your routine, and then all of a sudden, it comes to a screeching halt. I mean, that's tough and jarring for coaches, for players, for everyone. So I know that you'll have more time to reflect on that, and it should be quite a banquet that you get to have in a few weeks.
Yeah, no doubt. And it is amazing the pace that you have. And, you know, but you're right. I mean, I think the temptation for me, Brian, is, you know, there are some very important meetings, you know, financially and for the future of our program that I'm really excited about, you know, really that happen immediately that you just kind of table and always have notes for when the season ends. But, you know, the most important thing right now, Brian, is making sure these seniors are honored the way that they deserve to be honored. And I can't wait. You know, it's going to be hard, obviously, this next week being out of school because, you know, I love just reminiscing with guys on the Monday after the season and reminding them how proud I am of them, what an honor it's been to coach them. And these guys just pour their hearts out for you. They'll do anything to please you. And, you know, there's going to be a special – we always do some great things for our seniors, but we're going to do a little bit more this year just given all that they've done, all they've accomplished, and they're so worthy of it. And I'm so honored, not just as a coach and a educator, but just as a human to say that I can be associated with these group of guys. I mean, they're just incredible people, and I can't wait to follow everything they're able to do in life.
Next year we'll bring some changes just briefly, not to just jump ahead so quickly, but you go from the region that you've been in here for the last couple of years. You've moved around more than anybody, but now it's all Rutherford County back together and 8-team region, so 7 region games. It's going to be welcome to the gauntlet again, I guess.
Yeah, you know, we've been here before.
Yeah,
Brian, you know, played in this league in 21 and 22, and you know, we've played Blackman and Rockville, you know, the past 2 years. And, you know, I think for our program and our school, you know, we need to be playing local games. You know, we love playing games. Our players, you know, they love playing games where, you know, they grew up and played Little League basketball with the guy that goes to Siegel or Riverdale or whatever the school is, you know, in Rutherford County. And so, you know, I tell you, you know, finding non-region games, Brian, it hadn't been a huge challenge, in past cycles. But, I've messaged people even last week when the regions came out, teams that were still playing, like, hey, are you able to play next year? And, I guess they've lost my number.
Radio silence.
There's a lot of ways to measure success, Brian, and that's one thing that I stop and look. I'm like, man, our players deserve so much credit for this, and it's going to be a huge challenge next year, but one that I'm really excited about. Excited to jump back into that league, and it's going to be a fun offseason for us. A lot of exciting things that I'm really optimistic that our program can take a step forward with.
Well, Ben Alice has sent me this color-coded chart of things that she's got for you to do here, in the next few weeks. So I'm sure that honeydew list is long, as from what I can see here.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, the week of our before our first scrimmage, we welcomed my daughter Sally. So she's coming up on almost 4 months old, and so there's a lot of quality time that I'm going to get back here immediately, and my two boys, George and Max, and my wife Alice. I can't I couldn't be blessed anymore with how much they love me, how much they support me, how so all in they are with what I feel like God's called me to do, and I couldn't do it without them. I couldn't do it without the support that I have at school, Dr. Clark Harrell and Todd Harris and what they do, and just how they support everybody at Stewarts Creek. And I'm really, really touched and honored to for the past 5 years to say that I've been blessed to lead our program, and I can confidently say that the best is yet to come. And I'm proud of what we've built, and proud of how our youth league has grown, and proud of all the steps that we've taken, not just this year, but the ones we took the first 4 years to give us the chance to take another step this year. And so really excited to get my hands dirty and get back to work this offseason and honor this group of seniors, and just put the finishing touches on what's been an amazing season.
Most certainly has been. As always, thanks for coming in each week, and it's been a remarkable year. I always enjoy you, and we'll miss you here for a few weeks, but turn around. August will be here before we know.
Yeah, and I'll catch you all at a basketball game. Catch you and John, and thank you once again. It's always awesome to be with you guys, and it's a sign that the fall has come to a close when we're not able to be together anymore. But appreciate y'all very much, and as always, Brian, go Red Hawks.
All right, that's Ben Caudill joining us here on the Coaches Show this morning, which is brought to you by some great folks like Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, the largest, most comprehensive orthopedic surgery group in Middle Tennessee. Find out more at TOA.com.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Lascassas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door.
If you're a homeowner with a quarter acre or several, Lascassas Feed Supply focuses on premium feeds and dog foods you won't find in the box stores.
Nutrition is our specialty here at Lascassas Feed.
Family owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, inviting you to stop by, visit, and enjoy the country.
Customer service expertise that exceeds your expectations.
Lascassas Feed is also your place for local milk from the MTSU Dairy on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East in Lascassas.
If your job situation is changing because of layoffs or restructuring, you may have to make several decisions. One important decision may be what to do with your retirement plan. Make sure your retirement stays on track. I'm Lee Colvin, your Edward Jones financial advisor, and I'd like to help.